Jim Town, former senator. Jim, I was thinking about you last night, David Vondrelli, who is living in Kansas City as well. You know Union Station, you know Kansas City, Missouri well. How shocked were you that a Super Bowl parade come under fire yesterday?
I would like to say I was shocked, but this sort of thing is happening often enough now that it's heartbreaking, but it's almost like, well, where's the next thing coming from? And it's terrible, obviously, where it happens anywhere, but this is such the Chiefs are such a source of communal joy and unity, really, to everybody in Missouri, but especially in Kansas City. And it's just heartbreaking. And I'm just praying that these people who've been that we don't get any more deaths out of it. And
yeah, I was thinking to myself last night, Jim, if the Browns ever get to a Super Bowl, much less win one, sure, the parade will be the largest parade in the history of parades. But, of course, now we have to worry about nutters everywhere. I wrote, David, I mean, even Kansas City? Kansas City? Isn't that like the most normal place in America other than Ohio?
Oh, it's a great town. It's open. I mean, the boulevards in Kansas City are beautiful. They call it the City of Fountains because of the numerous beautiful fountains they have in Kansas City. I always love being there. And, it's a town where where people from the civic people to the business, the civic community, everybody loves the city. Everybody wants the city to prosper. They work well together. I mean, obviously they have problems, but it's just terrible. And it's just
I follow Mayor Hugh. I follow the mayor on X because I think he's kind of funny. All right, let me turn to defense stuff. And to my new audience, Jim is our go-to guy in defense. We had this warning yesterday, and it seems like the Russians have an anti-satellite nuclear weapon about to go or ready to go. Did it justify the chairman coming out there and getting people whipped up? And do you think Jake Sullivan handled it well? And why aren't we passing the Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, America defense bill if we're worried about Russia? I mean, I really don't get it.
Okay, well, if Mike Turner's worried, I'm worried. Now, having said that, the Chinese and to a significant extent the Russians have had the ability to attack our satellites in every orbital domain for a number of years. That's one of the reasons President Trump wanted a space service and one of the reasons Congress gave it to him. We need to disperse and harden the architecture. So I'm waiting to hear more. As for Sullivan, no, he didn't handle it well, but I'll give him a pass because obviously he was surprised. I do believe he had this briefing scheduled. So let's see what he says in the next couple of days. But yeah, we need to tell more to the American people than we've said to this point, because right now, none of us even know what specifically the concern is that Congressman Turner has.
All right, now I want to run some headlines past you. From the Times of Israel, PM, Bibi, vetoes further Cairo negotiations on hostages. From the Post, Israeli jets hit Lebanon in heaviest strike since Gaza began. IDF, credible evidence Hamas held hostages at Khan Yunis's Nasser Hospital. From the Wall Street Journal, Biden-Netanyahu relationship at boiling point as Rafah invasion looms. From Times of Israel, David Cameron, Israel must ensure aid reaches Gaza or it will breach international law. Germany and France fear humanitarian catastrophe in Rafah. What is going on here? Israel is the victim. They have to kill off Hamas or it will happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the problem here is that Israel is insisting on winning. And the Biden administration and much of Western Europe doesn't want them to win. They were okay with them fighting for a while, but not winning. Israel has very substantially destroyed Hamas to this point, and they're going to continue doing it until they complete the job, and they should. And then they very well may turn north, because as you know, they have 300,000 of their citizens who've had to evacuate their homes in the north part of the country because of concerns about Hezbollah. They can't tolerate that. And I'm all for it. And by the way, the groups they're destroying are enemies of the United States.
Yeah, I heard, listen to Dan Senor, the great Dan Senor this week, interviewed an Israeli journalist who detailed there are 4 untouched regiments of Hamas in Rafah. They can't let them stay there. It's like leaving ISIS in Mosul.
Yeah, Rafah and Khan Yunis are the two areas where they're still organized, if you will, as far, Hamas battalions, and they pretty much cleaned out. Now, there's going to be ongoing sporadic fighting for some time, but I think the mission has been very substantially accomplished. It's still going to take a while. And by the way, you have to admire their courage, their ability, the way they've done this. They've minimized casualties, minimized civilian casualties. I wouldn't have said before this that any army was better at urban warfare than our army. But I got to tell you, I mean, the Israelis are really showing people how to do this properly. And I want them to win.